Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters. Today I am filming the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit. I just want to give you a little heads up. My birds decided to go wandering. Mum has been looking for them for about the past 25 minutes. I've been ignoring them because I was testing out this hair straightener thing, and then I was like, okay, well, I can't let this go on for too much longer. I went out the front, found them in 5 minutes, bossed them inside like the bossy boots that I am with the birds, and now they're inside and I suspect they're going to get noisy. So if they do, I'm really sorry, but I need to film this, like, now. So, Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild palette. I bought this online. It came out this month, July, and I purchased it from the Anastasia website. It cost me $40, 40 US dollars, plus shipping. So when you take that into consideration and you also add on a little extra for currency conversion, it is a little bit expensive. I did split shipping with Kat, which makes it a bit, a bit easier to sort of deal with those shipping prices, but by no means is this a cheap and affordable palette. It's quite expensive. So let's talk about the packaging. It comes with a slip. Let's get it out. There we go. It comes with a slip. The outer packaging and the slip has this really pretty like blue and white ombre effect, and it's also got like almost like a holographic iridescence to it. I don't think you're really going to see it in the viewfinder or in the camera. It's more obvious under natural lighting, since I'm under some pretty harsh artificial lights. I'm not sure it's going to show up so well, but it's gorgeous. When this is sitting on your desk in the morning and the sun is shining through, it's like, oh, Jesus made this. The actual palette itself is made up of a hard cardboard, and it has quite a strong magnetic closure. On the inside, the iridescence with the packaging stops, but the silver writing, the Moonchild Glow Kit, and the Anastasia logo, they are like silver holographic. It's really pretty. I'm all about it. I love it. When it comes to the actual highlighters, you get 6 highlighters in the Glow Kit. These are different to the other glow kits that Anastasia sells. They are 4-pan palettes. They are in large round pans, and I don't know if the weight is different. I know the shape of the palette is different. The other glow kits are square. This is a rectangle. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. So the reason I brought this was 2 reasons. The promotional imagery that they were using for this palette was fucking stunning. It inspired me like nobody's business. Then when I was looking at the palette, I was thinking these are going to be highlighters that have no base color, but have like a colored shift or an iridescence to them. So when the light hits them, they reflect a highlight and a color. And that's what I'm about right now. I have plenty of like champagne, gold, silver, bronze fucking highlights. Like, I've got them coming out the wazoo. I don't need any more. I'm not interested in them. My love for highlighters is slowly dying. To me, they're kind of, it's mostly all the same at this point. I'm only drawn to highlighters that are different to anything else that I own. So I was excited to get into this palette because I thought all of these colors would be no base color, but colorful and highlighting shift. When I got the palette and I opened it up, I knew straight away that I was wrong about that. These 3 colors here, so we've got Blue Ice, Pink Heart, and Lucky Clover. They are no base color with an iridescent and highlighting shift. So on the face you can't really see them, they highlight subtly, but when you like move to like catch the light, or I mean you don't move to catch the light, but when you're out in the sun and you're moving or out in any well lit place, the light reflects off it and it does pretty colourful things. So straight away I fell in love with these three. The next three, we've got Star, Purple Horseshoe and Blue Moon. These kind of do have a base. So Star and Blue Moon have silver bases. Star is just like straight up sort of icy silver, whereas Blue Moon is like silver with a hint of blue. As for Purple Horseshoe, there's two ways you can use it. You can apply it really heavy, and then you'll see that it's like a purple base with a little bit of blue to it, or you can blend it out. And then really, to me, it just looks like blue ice with a bit of purple, bluish reflect, but not much base color. So it kind of depends how you apply it with like the results you're going to get from it. Okay, now I am wearing the whole palette today, so I want to show you where I'm wearing it. On my collarbone, I've actually applied Star on this side and I've applied Blue Moon on this side. Looking in the mirror, they look exactly the same to me. This side, depending on where the light hits it, it looks kind of like I applied a silver highlighter over a bruise on my collarbone, one that's sort of just coming up, so it's got those blue and purple tones to it. I don't really like it, but that's, we'll get back to this in a second. On my face I have Lucky Clover under my my eyebrow, on my brow bone. I have blue ice in the C, around the C of my eye, and pink heart I have on my cheekbone. Purple Horseshoe I actually applied to my inner corners. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it is there. So I really wanted to use the whole palette, and personally I feel like this part of the palette just here, these three, they're like fucking amazing. These three, I feel like they're completely wasted shades. These two that I have on my collarbone, Star and Blue Moon, I don't think they're very nice, to be honest. There's nothing special about them. Like, I look in my collection and I'm like, Jesus Christ. People are pumping out like boring silver highlights like there's no tomorrow, like they're in fashion, and they're not. They're boring. They are just simply boring, if you ask me. Purple Horseshoe, I do like it, but it's way too similar to Blue Ice, and if I'm going to choose between the two, I'm choosing Blue Ice because it's actually interesting, and when you see it on the skin, it's exciting. It's like, wow, what is that? That's really pretty. For this to be a perfect palette for me, they would have gotten rid of both Star and Blue Moon because I don't think they're a pretty highlight. They look bruisey on the skin, and I would have put in like a red iridescent, like one of these formulas but red, and maybe one of these formulas but like yellow or orange or something like that. Purple Horseshoe, I would have gone for a formula like this, but I would have gone for a purple that was less on the blue spectrum and more on the pink spectrum. So something that fell in between Blue Ice and Pink Heart that was still purple. You could tell it was different to each of the shades, but yeah, not so blue or not so pink, if you know what I mean. Something smack bang in the middle, so it was its own colour. Because when you blend these two on skin next to each other, you can hardly tell the difference. What's the point? It's the same with these two, Star and Blue Moon. They just look so similar. Excuse my indecency. They just look so similar that it's just, what's the point? What's the point in having two shades the same? Another thing I've got to say about this palette is it's not for everyone. I do think these highlighters are pretty full on. Even these iridescent ones, like when the light catches them, they're like, I hope you like green highlighter, honey, because it's there. And it turns out the green is actually my favorite color in the palette. They are very bold and they are very punchy. If you are a makeup artist and you're thinking about getting something interesting for your freelancing kit, you will probably use these three shades a lot, especially if you do editorial, catwalk, anything like that. Just, these are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. But these three, they're boring. You probably already have something in your kit. I don't mind this palette. I use it. I've been using it every day since I got it and happily using it, but I always find myself reaching for these three. I've used these three maybe a handful of times, and every time I use them I'm like, I don't need these. Like, if I could just send back these three, I would. But yeah, it's a bit of a 50-50 palette for me, to be honest. As for the formula, it's pretty soft. It's soft, it's smooth, it's buttery, they're pretty. On the skin, I'm just gonna wipe that on my pants. On the skin, if you apply them very, very lightly, which you can do, you can get a subtle effect with them. It doesn't bring up skin textural issues too much, but if you go in with like a second or third layer to really ramp up those bright colors like the pink, blue and green, you definitely get skin textural issues. These more traditional sort of silvery based highlighters, like the metallic ones, they definitely bring up skin texture problems. Like, it's like a fucking spotlight on bad skin texture. So I don't really like them for that. They do wear really well throughout the day, good longevity, no problems there. And obviously you can mix and match your colors, which I like to do with these iridescent ones, because pink, blue and green, when they're mixed together, is actually a really pretty combination. Alright, so I'm going to do some swatches of this palette. I will do single finger swatches, I will do blended swatches, and then I will swatch similar colors next to each other to show you how they look the same, basically, or to show you their differences, because their differences are minimal. You have to have a pretty eagle eye to really notice the differences, unless they're applied heavily, then you can kind of see the difference. Alright, let's do the top row. We've got Blue Ice, Star and Purple Horseshoe. Then we have Pink Heart, Lucky Clover and Blue Moon. Okay, I'm now going to do some blended swatches. So we'll start with Blue Ice and then Star and Purple Horseshoe. And now we have Pink Heart, Lucky Clover and Blue Moon. Alright, so we're going to do some sort of comparison swatches. So first up I've got Blue Ice and Purple Horseshoe. You can see they are like, they're different when you look at them that way. When you blend them out, so this is Blue Ice, gosh, words, and then you've got Purple Horseshoe. So they're fairly similar. Purple Horseshoe does have more of a purple, like actual purple colored base, but when you get the light reflection, they pretty much look the same. Next up, we've got Star and Blue Moon. You can see there they are very, very similar. A little bit of a difference, but not a whole lot. Now I'm going to swatch Star here and Blue Moon here. You can see that Blue Moon has a bit of a blue tinge to it. For me, on my skin, it just kind of makes me look a bit bruisey, whereas Star is pretty much just silverish. Personally, I feel like these are too similar to really be in the same palette. Alright guys, so you've seen swatches. There will also be a related blog post linked down below if you want to see those swatches like photographed. If you want to like get in there and really like check them out, you can check out the blog post for that. I'm going to wrap this review up, and I'm going to wrap it up by saying I am still on the fence about this palette. I love half of it and I do not like the other half. So these three I love. These three I'm like, whatever. If I could send back these 3 pans, I totally would. I would have no problem doing that. But obviously that's not a thing that you can do. So I can't 100% get behind this palette, and I can't 100% poo-poo it, because you know, it's 50-50 for me. I like it and I don't like it. Alright guys, so that's it. I'm going. If you have, whoa, where you going? If you have purchased the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit, let me know what you think in the comments. I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts. I do like the palette. I don't adore the palette, so let's just leave it at that. It's certainly not something I would send back. Honestly, I could actually see myself hitting pan on these 3 highlighters, but these 3 I'm not so sure. If I ever finish Blue Ice, I'll be moving on to Purple Horseshoe because they're the same. And these 2 I might use if I ever want to look like I'm bruised but highlighted to the gods. I don't know. Alright guys, so I'm going to wrap this up. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget you can check out the related blog post, which will be linked down below. And until next time, thank you so much for watching guys. Bye!